everyone, it's your girl Bilikis. I'm back today with a brand new tutorial. Today's tutorial will be on how to make an elastic off-shoulder circular dress for a girl between 4 to 5. And trust me, it's going to be very easy to make. Are you new to this channel? You're welcome. Make sure you subscribe. Tell your friends about this channel, share the link, and you will learn one or two things. So before we get started, I just want to show you the tools. We have the hip curve, the pan curve, and then the straight ruler. This is in plastic. Then we also have it in wooden, the pan curve, hip curve, and the 1 meter ruler, the pattern master. You've seen me use that often. Then the hammer curve, the pins, seam ripper, tracing wheel. In case you're interested, I'll put the contact number in the description box below. I have 6 yards of fabric, but I actually needed 2 yards is okay for this. It depends on the age you are making the dress for. And remember I said it's going to be a circular dress. You can make it a full circle dress, but for a child, little flare is just quite okay. So now what I'll just do is to fold over. The length of this dress will be 26 inches for the length, which is quite okay for a short dress for a girl. Can you see that? If you want a full circle, all you have to do is to fold this way. Can you see that? Then all your measurements will be towards this side, but I don't want it to be too full, so I'm just going to do a little flare. Can you see that? With that, I'll just have to fold this way. Can you see that? Which is quite okay. Then our measurement will just start like this. I'll now have to adjust it. Now we will start with the measurement. You can adjust it like this, but this shouldn't be more than this, or else this will have to be shorter than this. So the maximum is this. Don't fold more than 2 yards. Let me just check this. Let me check what I folded. So that's like 31 inches times 2. So not up to 2 yards. Then I folded this way. So this goes inward here. Look at it. This is what it looks like, but I just folded it this way. Can you see that? So we can still make use of this part for the sleeve. I said I wanted 26, but I'll have to measure from the lower part. Why? Because more of the lower part is much. The flare at the lower part will be much. You don't want to start from the upper parts because it will be shorter. But if you measure from the lower part upward, you have more flare here. So the wider the circular dress will be. So since I want 26, now this is going to be a straight line towards you. It is folded, but this part will be a straight line towards me. So 26, add your seam allowance. Make sure you add your seam allowance to it. So with that, I'll just make it 27. So I'll just put it at this edge, then upward. So I'm going to start from somewhere around here. Here now I'm going to draw a straight line. So with this point now, just make sure this part, let me move the camera closer. From this point, I'm going to make a straight line. So what I'll do is this, make sure this part is on the folded area. So it's like a head curve. So you will get a perfect straight line here, which is this. Can you see that? So now the next thing, note this is 27 inches. Though we are still going to add extra 1 inch to the upper part because of the case for the elastic. So normal armhole for a girl of 4 to 5 inches is quite okay. 5 inches. 5 inches. So now this is what I have. Now for the chest circumference for this girl is actually 6.5. But because we are going to gather the upper part, I'm going to add extra 3 inches to it just to make it wider, so when I gather it to add more volume. So I said 6.5, so I'll add extra 3 to it. That will be 9.5, which is okay with the side seam allowance. So now this is 9.5. you see that? Then I'll come to the upper part here. Just use the normal shoulder measurement for the girl. Like normally on the average 5 inches is okay, but because remember we added some seam allowance here, I'm going to do the same thing to this part. So I'll just make it, instead of 5 I can just make it 6.5 or 7 is quite okay. Let me just make it 6.5. And you see what I have there. Then the next thing is to curve it out. Just make a slight curve since it's like an off shoulder. So now this is what I have. Okay, let's just finish with this, then we can add the seam allowance. So this will be the edge of the dress. But before that, remember I said I want it to be 26 plus seam allowance, making 27. So this point, it ends at 27. Now I'm going to curve this lower part. From this point, this is 27. Make sure you start at the edge here, 27, which is here. Then from this point, you have to rotate your measuring tape. You don't just cut it straight because it's a circular dress. So you don't just cut it straight because it's a circular dress. So just make sure your measuring tape is at this point. So move the 26 again. There's 27. Please don't forget that. So 27. Then from this point again, I'll rotate it 27. You see that. Then from this point again, 27. Now this is what I have. Then I'll have to take my ruler to connect from this point down here. For instance, if you've not added your side seam allowance, you have to add that. Assuming we've not added, if you want half an inch, all you have to do is to add half an inch to it. But I already added to the initial one, but it doesn't matter. I can just connect from here because it's a circular free dress and it will be gathered. So you can have as much volume as you like. So can you see that now? Remember I said you will add extra 1 inch at the upper part for the case for the elastic. So what do? I just measure 1 inch from this upper part. I come here 1 inch. Ideally we should have added that initially, but just to make it more explanatory, then you have to adjust the armhole curve. Now the armhole has been adjusted. The next thing now is to cut this pattern out. Remember, you have to cut the upper part and not the initial line. Can you see that? Is this not so beautiful? So beautiful. Now we are through with it. The next thing now is to cut the sleeve. Now this is the leftover from the part we cut out, so I'll have to manage this for the sleeve. Or better still, I just trim this off. We are left with this. Now this is what I have. At least for the sleeve, I want 10 inches. I want the circumference to be like 20. Let me just check that first. Here I have like 9. So what I'll do is to fold it in form of a flare. Can you see? In bias form. So I have to take this into consideration. Let me check again. So now I have 10 inches, which is okay. So now the length of the sleeve, I want that to be 18 inches, but because of the casing for the elastic, so I'll make it 19. Is long because it's like a regular sleeve and it's going to start above the shoulder. So that is here. And I'll make that into a straight line. And this is what I have. So let me check what I have here for the upper part. Remember, we are going to gather this part too. It's going to be gathered after the elastic has been added to it. So I have about 7, which is still okay for the sleeve. So what I'll just do is this, to make it easier for you, just place this main dress, make sure it's well adjusted, just place it on this. So I'm going to place this on to cut out the sleeve. That's the easiest method. Make sure you adjust it so well. So I haven't done that, you make sure you slightly pull this upward. Remember, when you place it on it, it will be like this, but you have to move this upward. Can you see what I did? Place it on the edge, because we want to have the same measurement with this. And this is what I have. Then I can remove this. Then this will be straight as normal. And for the edge here, this also will be straight. This will be cut off. Let me cut that out first. See the sleeve. This is what the sleeve looks like. Then for the sleeve, because this part is still folded, I'll just have to open it up. This is one of the sleeve. This is the other sleeve. Can you see that was pretty easy? The next thing now is to sew it up together. The first step now, this is on the wrong side, so all I have to do is to take half an inch this way, half an inch on this side. The next thing, I'm going to sew half an inch on this side of the sleeve, half an inch on this side of the sleeve. Also, I can finish the lower part of this. Also, the case of this, the lower part of the sleeve can also be finished before we now join it at the armhole. Now the sides has been joined. Can you see that? I've already took in the lower part too and give it a good press. This is what the sleeve looks like after joining the sides. And for this, I fixed the elastic for the lower part. You can see how beautiful it is. So I'm going to use this. It's just 2.5. So when you open it up, this is just 5 inches for the sleeve. So what I'll do is to just sew the elastic along with it. So I'll just have to open it up and start sewing it. Can you see that? You take in the seam allowance before you do that. So you just keep sewing it along with the elastic. After doing that, this is what you will have. What is the next thing to do now? I'll just have to open up the armhole area and this. With the method we use, everything should match. Can you see that? see. So I'm going to take to the sewing machine now. You can pin yours down, but I'm just going to sew it as I adjust with my finger. So I'm going to take half an inch all through. Everything should match because of the easier method we use to do that. I'll do that, then attach the other one too, then show you the next step. Attach the sleeve to the main dress, and you see how it looks so beautiful already. So on the inside, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Everything matches so well. Can you see that? So now the next thing now is to put elastic on the upper parts to have it all done. For the upper part now, for the elastic here I have, that is 8 times 2, 16 inches in length. That's with the seam allowance. Exactly, I have 16 inches for this. So remember, I left 1 inch for the elastic casing. The next thing now is to fold it in and sew it all around, leaving a hole to pass the elastic thread. Or better still, I will just have to close it up the same way I did for the sleeve, and then sew it all along. Now let me do that and show you the final look. Right now, this is the final result of the dress. You can see it is so beautiful and nice. Oh my god, you see that? I wish I had a girl to put this on. It would have been so lovely. But anyways, you can make it for your own child. And if my tutorial on how to make this has been so helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, share the link with your friends, share it all over Facebook and Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram, Bilikis Signatures. Join us on Facebook. Sewing Innovation is a closed group whereby we share ideas on sewing. So right, Liam.